Hello there and welcome back to the channel. Today we are remembering a long but probably also forgotten series called Street Hawk. The 80s and 90s was a weird time. I grew up in the 90s, I was born in the 80s, and there was this slew of kind of cool, relaxed, chill, awesome action adventure type stuff, basically. It came out around that time, and I mean, you had shows like Knight Rider with the cool car, KITT, although personally I did prefer car, but I've always been a fan of the villains. Airwolf with the cool advanced helicopter. You got Sequest with the cool advanced submarine. You've got the A-Team, they had a van, and it just kind of went on. It's like they were thinking to themselves, right, someone's made an awesome show about a brilliant state-of-the-art attack helicopter. What should we do? Yeah, let's do a car, a sports car. Yeah, it can talk. It'll have a silent eye. What else? Oh, right, now someone's done that. Right, we can't just do a car. Right? A bike. I know, we'll do a bike. And that's what Street Hawk was. It was basically Airwolf, that it didn't fly. It was a bike, a very fast bike that was like, in the scenes of it basically hitting its turbo and it zooms off, are so obviously sped up footage that you would watch it and you wouldn't be able to keep control of that. You hit one minor pothole, and let's face it, any road nowadays, yeah, potholes, they're pretty much the norm. I don't know what you might call those in America or wherever. Potholes are basically when you get a little depression in the ground, in the road, which, you know, the local authorities don't bother to fill in for years. One of those. And yeah, you can just see this little narrow, which clearly a little off-roader bike that they've customized. Yeah, it's never going to happen. But the show itself was made with a lot of good intentions of making something that was fun and entertaining. They really leaned into the comedy and the sort of ridiculous aspects of it when they needed to do. But it was given a very serious story. The pilot was done, it was all done dead serious. You had a police officer betrayed, injured, his partner killed, he becomes crippled, but thanks to state-of-the-art advanced government technology, and they want to, you know, like, test this new advanced system out and see what it can do, they repair him, you know, $6 million man style. Not really, but they basically give him a lot of physiotherapy and get him back on his feet, but then keep it all classified that he's actually okay, so that he can wear the facade of just working behind a desk at the police force, but really he's this lean, mean fighting machine riding around on his motorcycle, defeating crime wherever he finds it. The series ran for 13 episodes in 1985. Starred Rex Smith as Jesse Mack, the main sort of dude. You had his little assistant, or handlers it was meant to be, but no, he was his assistant. And I can't pronounce this guy's name. I've tried. It's Joe Ragalbuto. Sorry, I am pronouncing that incorrectly. His character name was Norman Tuttle. I actually really liked him. He was a lot of comic relief, but was actually also a genius who designed the bike. You had Richard Ventura as the lieutenant commander of the police force, and etc. It just goes on. You had a lot of very talented people that put their all into this, thinking they had themselves another Airwolf on their hands, when in reality they really didn't. I should point out that my personal theory, the fact that they called this thing Street Hawk, I did wonder was a little nod to try and get, you know, like, confuse people to thinking there was some connection to Stringfellow Hawk, which was the character played by Jan Michael Vincent in Airwolf as the titular main character for the first 3 seasons of Airwolf. This came out, as I said, at a time when there was a slew of advanced science fiction vehicle-based shows coming out. This was on the back of other advanced science fiction shows that have come out on the back of Star Wars, like your Battlestar Galactica and your Buck Rogers and stuff like that, all about advanced spaceships. You had your Blake 7 that was a bit older, you had Buck Rogers with his advanced space fighter and Hawks fighter, and there seemed to be always like this idea you need a hero vehicle to sort of run things and be the awesomeness and just everyone to want it. This show didn't get the audience that it was looking for. I can't say for certain if it was just competition. Depending on what reviews you read, people give this thing fairly bad scores on IMDb and on other reviews. It doesn't have the best cult following, but those that like it do really like it. And generally, if you, again, depending on where you read, it either couldn't compete with the bigger things like Airwolf, A-Team. I mean, those were juggernauts in their day. They're still cult classics now, but back in the day, they were juggernauts. They were undefeatable. It was like trying to go up against the MCU and your steel. You know what I mean? It's not going to happen. And this thing was kind of swallowed up in the abyss. Others will tell you that it's because it was a poorly made imitation of better things that were already out there. I'd say that's also a fair assessment. It has decent production values. They clearly were spending some money on this, and it wasn't bringing a return, hence the 13 episode run. It was basically almost like an extended pilot, but as I said, the people making this really did put their all into it, and it was enjoyable if you wanted to kind of laugh at it. I'm sorry if you... It is hilarious, but it's intentionally so. As I said, this show leans into the comedy, it leans into the ridiculous, but has this backbone of being deathly serious as well. It is a forgotten gem of a show. You can find it here and there if you feel like going out and really intensively looking for it. Not myself, sorry, no, definitely not me, but someone may have downloaded this, where you from a torrent site or something, where you allegedly can download things like this from, where you shouldn't, because they shouldn't be there, and that's very wrong. And definitely I didn't do that, and definitely that's not how I watched this show for the first time in my 30s. That's how much this thing completely blinked and missed it from the 80s through 90s. But it was, as I said, one of a slew of shows like this where their companies, as soon as someone did something good, everyone threw everything they had at the wall to see if they could recreate the magic, and usually they couldn't, and in this case it fell flat on its proverbial ass. But that said, if you can find it, it's worth a watch. Just to miss, it's like the missing link in the super vehicles genre. All the others they're all covered. You got Knight Rider to cover the car, you got Sequest to cover the submarine, Buck Rogers to cover space, BA with his van. I mean, I'm not just like, that van is cool. GMC Motors. It's black, grey and red, and it is partially grey if you actually pay attention to it. The van from the A-Team, the top half of it pretty much is grey, just a dark grey. It's not all black like you'd think. I missed that as well for a really long time. It was actually someone that pointed it out to me recently. Random bit of trivia for you there. The show, as I said, never found its audience, never found its footing, and ultimately died after 13 episodes and has never been revisited as an idea. But again, it is a missing link in the super vehicles genre. So if you want to check it out, find it, give it a watch. It's not exactly going to take a long time. It's 13 episodes and it is fun. With that said, if you made it to the end of this video, please like, share and subscribe. For more of this content, hit the bell notification icon to stay up to date with all the uploads. And with that said, thank you for watching. Bye bye.